The New York Yankees are giving their fans plenty of reasons to be excited at this point in the season, and a big part of that excitement comes from what is happening on the mound. One of the young pitchers has been turning heads with performances that look far beyond his experience level. In his most recent outing, he pitched deep into the game, allowed almost nothing offensively, and showed the kind of command that many veteran pitchers spend years trying to develop. What stands out the most is not just the strikeouts or the low number of hits allowed, but the way he attacks hitters. He throws strikes, he works quickly, and he does not look intimidated regardless of the situation. That level of confidence at such an early stage of career is something that usually separates good pitchers from potential aces, and right now he is starting to look like someone who could become a very important part of this rotation for years to come. What makes his performances even more impressive is the way his pitches move through the strike zone. Hitters often look uncomfortable, late on swings, or completely fooled by the movement. It is not just about throwing hard. It is about location and movement combined, and he seems to have both working in his favor right now. When a pitcher can consistently throw strikes with movement, it puts hitters in a very difficult position because they cannot simply wait for a mistake over the plate. They have to swing earlier, they have to guess more, and that usually leads to weak contact or strikeouts. His efficiency has also been noticeable because he is not issuing many walks, which means he is staying in games longer and keeping his pitch count under control. That kind of efficiency helps the entire team because it saves the bullpen and keeps the defense engaged throughout the game. Looking at the numbers from his first group of starts, the strikeout totals are already placing him in very impressive company in franchise history. The Yankees have had many great pitchers over the years, including several known for striking out a lot of hitters. So for a young pitcher to appear in those statistical comparisons this early in his career says a lot about how well he has been performing. But perhaps the most impressive statistic is not the strikeouts. It is the lack of walks and runs allowed in certain stretches. That combination shows control, confidence, and the ability to pitch under pressure. Many young pitchers can throw hard and get strikeouts, but controlling the strike zone is what allows pitchers to become consistent winners at the major league level. Another thing that has been very noticeable when watching him pitch is his composure. He does not seem to get rattled when there is a runner on base, and he does not change his pace or body language when the game situation becomes more intense. Some pitchers show frustration or start rushing their pitches when things get difficult, but he looks calm and focused in almost every situation. That mental strength is extremely important, especially for a team like the Yankees where expectations are always high and every game feels important. If he can maintain that mentality throughout the season, he could become one of the most reliable arms in the rotation much sooner than many people expected. The impressive pitching performances are not coming from just one player either. The Yankees pitching staff as a whole has been performing at a very high level, and that is one of the main reasons the team has been winning games consistently early in the season. When starting pitchers are able to go deep into games and limit runs, it takes pressure off the offense because the hitters do not feel like they need to score a large number of runs every night. Strong pitching also builds confidence throughout the entire roster because players know that even if the offense has a quiet night, they still have a good chance to win the game. The bullpen has also played an important role, especially in close games where the starting pitcher leaves with a small lead. Closing out games is never easy, and even the best relievers in baseball sometimes have difficult outings. Being a closer is one of the most challenging roles in the sport because every appearance is high pressure and one mistake can change the outcome of the game. Fans sometimes expect every save opportunity to look perfect, but that is not realistic in baseball. Even great relievers go through periods where they struggle with command or give up a few hits, but what matters most is whether they can still finish the game and secure the win. There is also an important conversation about expectations and history when it comes to this team. The Yankees have had legendary players and legendary pitchers throughout their history, and sometimes that makes it difficult for fans to appreciate current players because they're constantly being compared to all-time greats. But baseball changes over time, and every era is different. Instead of expecting every closer to be perfect or every starting pitcher to dominate every game, It is more realistic to look at how the team performs overall and whether they're consistently putting themselves in position to win games. Right now, the combination of strong starting pitching, a solid bullpen, and timely hitting is allowing the Yankees to control games in a way that makes them look like one of the most complete teams in baseball. Offensively, there have also been some important contributions from players who are stepping up in key moments. Getting hits with runners on base, hitting home runs that add insurance runs late in games, and finding ways to score even when the offense is not explosive are all very important over the course of a long season. Sometimes the most important run in a game is not the first one, but the extra run that creates a bigger lead and reduces pressure on the bullpen in the final innings. Those small moments often make the difference between winning and losing close games. As the season continues, the biggest question will be whether the pitching staff can maintain this level of performance. Early season statistics can sometimes be misleading because the sample size is still small, but the way the pitchers are performing right now looks very promising. If the starting rotation continues to pitch deep into games and limit runs, and if the bullpen continues to finish games effectively, the Yankees will be a very difficult team to beat in any series. Pitching has always been one of the most important factors in baseball, and when a team has multiple pitchers performing at a high level at the same time, it usually leads to a lot of wins over the course of the season. As the team now prepares for the next series, attention begins to shift from the pitching dominance to how the offense will perform against a new opponent with some talented young arms. Early season matchups can sometimes be unpredictable because teams are still finding their rhythm, but facing a strong young pitcher always creates an interesting challenge for any lineup. Hitters have to be patient, they have to look for mistakes, and most importantly, they cannot become frustrated if runs are hard to come by early in the game. Baseball games like these are often decided in the later innings, where one swing, one stolen base, or one defensive mistake can completely change the outcome. The Yankees' offense has shown flashes of power and timely hitting, but consistency will be the key moving forward. Over a long season, there will be games where the team scores many runs and everything seems easy, and there will also be games where every run feels difficult to score. The best teams are usually the ones that find ways to win even when they're not hitting home runs or putting up big numbers. That means working counts, drawing walks, advancing runners, and taking advantage of defensive mistakes. Those small details often make the difference in close games, especially against teams with strong pitching rotations. Another important factor early in the season is momentum. When a team starts winning series and building confidence, players start to relax and perform more naturally. Pitchers attack the strike zone with more confidence. Hitters become more patient at the plate, and the defense plays more aggressively and confidently. Momentum in baseball is a real thing, even though it does not always show up in statistics. You can see it in body language, in the dugout energy, and in the way players respond to difficult situations during games. Right now, the Yankees look like a team that believes it can win every time it takes the field, and that mentality can carry a team through long stretches of the season. There's also something special about the first home series of the season. Playing at home in front of the fans for the first time always brings a different level of energy. Players often talk about how the atmosphere changes when they return home, and how the crowd can give them extra motivation, especially in close games. For younger players, those moments can be very important because they're still getting used to playing in big stadiums with large crowds and high expectations. Performing well at home early in the season can help build confidence that lasts for months. One of the interesting storylines going into this series is how the Yankees' rotation will continue to perform while some of the more established pitchers work their way back. When those pitchers return, the team could suddenly have one of the deepest rotations in baseball. Having multiple strong starting pitchers is extremely important, especially later in the season and in the playoffs, because it allows teams to control matchups and keep their bullpen rested. If the current starters continue to perform well even after the rotation is fully healthy, the Yankees could have a major advantage against most teams. Depth is something that often separates good teams from great teams. Over the course of a long season, injuries happen, players go through slumps, and unexpected players often have to step into bigger roles. Teams that have depth are able to survive those difficult stretches because they have players ready to step in and perform. So far, the Yankees are starting to show that they might have more depth than many people expected, especially on the pitching side. If that continues, it will make them a very dangerous team, not just in the regular season, but also later when games become even more important. The bullpen will also continue to play a crucial role as the season moves forward. Even when starting pitchers perform well, there will always be games where the bullpen has to protect small leads or keep games close until the offense scores. Relievers often do not get as much attention as starting pitchers or hitters, but they are involved in many of the most important moments of the game. A strong bullpen gives a team confidence because players know that if they have a lead late in the game, they have a good chance of holding on to it. As the schedule continues and the competition becomes tougher, the Yankees will be tested in different ways. There will be series against strong offensive teams, series against teams with elite pitching, and games where weather, travel, and fatigue become factors. The teams that succeed over a long season are the ones that adapt to different situations and continue to find ways to win even when conditions are not perfect. That is why early season success is encouraging, but what really matters is whether the team continues improving and adjusting as the season progresses. Right now, the combination of strong pitching, timely hitting, and confident play is creating a very positive start to the season. The team looks focused, the pitchers are attacking hitters, and the offense is finding ways to score when it matters most. If they continue playing with this level of confidence and discipline, they will continue to win a lot of games. And when a team starts winning consistently early in the season, it changes the expectations and the energy around the entire organization, because suddenly every series feels important and every game feels like it matters a little more. But before we continue, please remember to join our channel and give this video a like. Your support allows us to keep bringing you the latest news about the New York Yankees. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments. A growing wave of speculation is sweeping through Major League Baseball as whispers intensify a potential blockbuster move involving the New York Yankees and a marquee name from the Baltimore Orioles. Sources close to the situation suggest that negotiations are not only real, but have reached an advanced stage, so much so that the deal is now believed to hinge on a final, decisive step: the formal approval and signature of a new investor tied to the Yankees' financial structure. While no official names have been confirmed, insiders describe the target as a franchise-altering talent, a player capable of immediately shifting the balance of power in the American League. The Yankees, long known for their aggressive approach in the market, appear determined to reinforce their roster with elite firepower, and this latest move could signal a return to their most ambitious form. Behind closed doors, executives are said to be ironing out the final details of a complex agreement that goes beyond a simple player exchange. Financial frameworks, ownership dynamics, and long-term commitments are all reportedly part of the equation. The involvement of a new investor has added an extra layer of intrigue, suggesting that this deal could reshape not only the roster, but also the organization's broader economic strategy. On the Orioles side, the potential departure of a star player has naturally sparked concern among fans. Yet some insiders hint that the franchise could be positioning itself for a calculated rebuild or a strategic reallocation of resources. If completed, the move would represent one of the most talked-about transactions in recent memory, with ripple effects expected across the league. For now, everything remains in the realm of speculation, but the tone around the negotiations has shifted. What once felt like distant rumor now carries the weight of something imminent. All eyes are on that final signature, the one that could transform whispers into one of the biggest headlines of the season. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the New York Yankees, please subscribe to our channel and give us a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.